Hey, it's JD here, and I just wanted to throw something down, somewhat of a challenge to all you musically inclined folks out there. We are going to be doing a pod list again this year, and a pod list is simply a podcast playlist. It's a pod list. The previous 4 pod lists have consisted of talented members of our Pavement community submitting songs that they have covered from the Pavement oeuvre. Pavement adjacent songs are also welcome, so you could do PSOI, you could do Jicks, you could do Malcolm is solo. Anything is fair game, truly. So get your band together or grab an acoustic guitar and just play your fucking guts out. From there, submit the song to me by email, and we'll go from there. So please submit those songs, jd@meetingmalcolmus.com, or even better, use wetransfer.com if it's a big WAV file. And WAV files are what I prefer. That will work out just magnificently. That's what she said. Podlist 5 coming July 8th. So get those songs in and be a part of something special. Thanks so much. Now, on with the show.
Previously on the Pavement Top 50.
Without further ado, number 38, Date with Ikea. Daniel from Chicago.
Hey.
Talk to me about your experience with this song.
Well, it was the first Pavement album that I was able to buy on its release date. So it has a special place. It was released, I think it's April 17th, 1997. And I went to my local mall and walked in and bought this album.
Hey, this is Westy from the rock and roll band Pavement, and you're listening to The Countdown.
Hey, it's JD here, back for another episode of our Top 50 Countdown for seminal indie rock band Pavement. Week over week, we're going to count down the 50 essential Pavement tracks that you selected with your very own top 20 ballots. I tabulated the results using an abacus and a small group of children in the 4th grade. How will your favorite song fare in the rankings? Well, you'll need to tune in to find out. So there's that. This week, we're joined by Pavement superfan Pierce from Detroit. Pierce, how you doing, motherfucker?
Man? I'm good. It's good to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you, man. How's the weather in the city now?
It's been unseasonably warm. Yesterday was we got close to 60. I think we got to 60. So wow. People in shorts and it's not going to be here forever. It's going to be nice today again, and then it's going to go. We're still in February, so it's going to be some jacket weather before you know it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
How about you? What's the weather like there?
It's been the same here. It's been unseasonably. Yeah. Like I wore a vest yesterday instead of a jacket, right? Like
kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the existential dread, but we won't go there.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Yeah.
So let's get right to this. Let's talk about Pavement.
You mean my favorite band?
Your favorite band of all time? Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I listened to a previous episode, and then I got my mind. I'm always champing at the bit to relay my Pavement origin story. So I don't even know if it's like, it's not anything spectacular, but I mean, I guess the thing that really that strikes me is just how much the band means to me and how much its music means to me, and so I'm always looking to knock on somebody's door and tell them about Pavement.
Yeah. So where did it all begin?
Well, I mean, so I found Pavement in high school. I was really into just like a lot of corporate rock. I was all about like Beck and Beastie Boys, which are still I still like and value those. But I was listening to like the Sublime and 311 and all that. And not to say that that's if that's your bag, that's your bag, but
Totally,
like
of course.
so then in my sophomore year, a friend got me into fish.
Okay.
And so like fish, I've kind of estranged myself from fish. Um and I realized that starting at the top of a Pavement podcast talking about 311 and fish is kind of like, I don't know if that's the coolest start, but so I remember vividly I got an Entertainment Weekly fish feature magazine in
Really?
I guess the summer of 2000, and just before going into my junior year in high school, and there was a fish A to Z, and they had like a little cartoon of the guitarist Trey worshiping at this pedestal with slanted and enchanted, like a little drawing on it. And so the A to Z P for fish was Pavement. And I was like, okay, well, I'll check that out. And I got slanted and enchanted, and it was like instantaneous, and so then I think the same day I went out to another CD store. I think I bought it from either a local CD store or from Best Buy, and then I went to another local CD store and I bought the Major Leagues EP. So
Oh,
like
wow.
my first two were like, Slanted and Enchanted and Major Leagues. And I was like, wow, this is completely different, but I love it.
Totally. So different.
And so then, I think within like a couple days I had bought Wowie Zowie, and then I went on a week long summer like a band camp thing to Interlaken. And so I remember being in this school bus and like hearing Half a Canyon, and it blew my mind.
It's
I
like
was
that
like,
scene in Garden State. Natalie
yeah,
Portman
totally right. I
handed you
mean,
the headphones and was like, this is going to
yeah,
change your
totally.
fucking
And
life.
and I mean, the the ensuing years of like, and even just moments of like trying to like play it for friends and having them be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, man. But and then gradually getting more people into it. But yeah, I mean, man, it's it's just wild to think that you know my musical adventure really. I mean, I don't want to like put it all on Pavement, but I feel like that really was the catalyst for so many so many things that I've discovered and enjoyed in the last 24 years.
Talk to me more about that. What does that look like?
Oh man, I mean, so I'm just that was the age of Napster and Audio Galaxy and
Right.
LimeWire, and so you'd connect your
Audio
you,
Galaxy.
you disconnect the phone line and connect it to your computer, and then like try to download 3 songs and then go to sleep, and then you wake up and like one of the songs would have downloaded, and you'd be like, okay, now I know about Dinosaur Jr., just
Right.
like they would it was just it was a wild time. And then yeah, then the advent of you had like music mags like the Big Takeover, and you had um the starting of Pitchfork. And so just over the last however many years, just I mean, we live in an age of renaissance. I mean, the reissues of just classics and never heard classics. Like I'm into like Italian library music and like world music and these niche, like I got into vaporwave over the pandemic, and I got into dungeon synth, and it's just like it's this exploding cosmos of never ending musical discovery. And at the
Jeez.
same time, I mean, at the end of the day, Pavement's still my number one favorite band.
Yeah.
And Terror Twilight is my favorite album of all time.
Okay. That's
which is
interesting.
I realized that's kind of like the one of the wildest takes I could have, but
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I would
mean,
say.
I just yeah, I mean, when it comes to Pavement, I would say every just about every song, every release is like, I mean, there's something so special. I know, I don't know if we're supposed to like lead into this or but I'll just say like, the early stuff, the original
EPs.
EPs and 7 inches that are collected on Westing, or yeah, I mean, it's just magical. I mean,
Yeah.
there's such a swirling vortex of melody and dissonance and feedback, and I mean, it really, it's all thanks to those three individuals that were just like conjuring some kind of alchemy out of and obviously they had their Pavement, they had their artists that were informing them, but I mean, the way that Malcolmus and Scott and Gary like did that, I mean, it's still, it's just, they could have just done those EPs and I would still probably talk with the same reverence. But then, you see that line, and so, coming to Pavement, pretty much at the end of Pavement without
I did
realizing
too.
it,
That's my story too.
they, I was able to kind of just like find this tome of amazingness. And I mean, with the reissues, I mean, there's clearly still so much to be discovered. I mean, I
Right?
I think I think we're so fortunate. I mean, my with Terror Toilet being my favorite album, like that reissue, like last year or the year before. I mean, that was like the greatest thing that Matador could. I've been like on Malcolmus and Pavement message boards crying for this for just so long,
Forever.
and
Since
I mean,
1998.
yeah,
Or since
no,
2008 rather.
yeah, and I mean, it just like it really, minus, it's missing, just one or two tracks from the At Home at the Groove Box with the Groove Box comp, but I mean, I have that comp, so
I also think it's
I'm
missing For Sale the Preston School of Industry,
oh
right?
man,
Like
yeah,
the
right.
actual version.
Right, and that's funny too, because I was going to mention that later. I feel like Debris Slide. I feel like
Oh, hold
that's
on.
got
Yeah,
a
don't let's cut
okay.
back because we don't mention it in the first half at all.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. In the first half,
Um.
it's all building up to that.
Oh, sure, sure. So, yeah. I mean, I, you know, I, I was able to see one of the Central Park shows.
Oh, me too.
And oh, awesome. Which one did you go to?
I forget now. I think it was the one on I want to say it was on the 10th or 11th of September, but I
Okay.
might be
All
wrong.
right. Yeah, I think that might have been. So I've got the poster hanging in the other room. We went to the third night, which was Thursday night. And
Okay.
I think the night before, I had some friends that went, and there was a downpour.
Okay. So I didn't
So
go to
I
that one. So I guess I went
feel
to the first one.
fortunate. Oh, so you saw the one with the
Tuesday.
OCs open.
I have a very poor memory.
Okay, well
So
that's okay. I'll just say, Pavement is my number one, and the OCs are my number two. And
really,
yeah, and so that that stung not seeing that particular
I
show,
bet.
um, especially that era, like that was like the Warm Slime, which I saw the OCs the week before, and I told them how excited I was for them to be opening for Pavement.
Oh
Um,
man, were they
and,
excited?
oh yeah, and John Dwyer like uh signed my albums that I brought, and he like gave me a poster. I've got the poster that he gave me like hanging next to the Central Park Pavement poster.
Oh
Um
man.
yeah, but I mean, like, so that was my, at the time, my girlfriend, now my wife's first time in New York, and we like went right up to, like, we got there probably at like 5 in the afternoon,
Oh, wow.
and we're like standing right, like probably like 20 feet from basically where Malkmus would be standing, for
Right.
the rest of the night. And like, so like, we made it through this marathon set, and pretty close to the end, like, I think my now wife was like, uh I need to go to the restroom. Like, I've been standing in this one spot, because as you're standing there, just people continue to compact, and so eventually you're just kind of stuck,
Yeah.
especially if you want to hold on to your spot.
Yeah.
um and I was standing next to this dude that was like heckling Malkmus to like play like deep cuts from like Territory, which, like, I'm like thinking in my head, like, yeah, I want that too, but I'm not gonna, like, I'm not heckling
Scream for it
Malkmus. Right.
or harass him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a really amazing experience. And then we got to see the Detroit show, um I- not last year, but the year before.
2022. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that was incredible. I mean, just wow, what a band,
Right. Agreed. 100%. So what's your okay, so just you're in a rarefied air with Terra Twilight as your number one.
Yeah.
What is your least ranked?
Oh
What's your
boy.
number
Well,
5? And I mean, I know these are difficult and
yeah, yeah.
often sort of ridiculous questions too,
Well,
because
sure.
it's more like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, right? Like these
Right, right.
records are that strong.
I bring it on myself when I throw something like that out there. But I mean, I'll say my number 5. When I first heard Brighten the Corners, I thought that it was my favorite. I think over time I've come to, with Terror Twilight is my number 1. I think my number 2 is Wowie Zowie, just because, I mean, it's a masterpiece. And then 3, I think, goes to Slanted, just because, again, I mean, how many times can you have a masterpiece? But they apparently did. And then I would say Brighton, and then Crooked Rain. And
Wow.
I no disrespect to Crooked Rain, because
No,
Crooked
of
Rain
course
is
not.
amazing.
This is just,
Just for
this is
fun.
what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, the other thing is just the hidden tracks, the B-sides. I
Yes.
mean, I think that really is what I I mean, I don't know. I would say that the 5 studio albums are enough to make it like pavement. But then this rich undertow of just amazing songs that, you know, should have made the albums, or,
In some cases,
it,
for sure.
at least, at least we have them.
Yeah.
Um, I really, I heard you mention in a previous episode that there's like a 7-inch box coming.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what that looks like. Is that
Me
just like
too.
straight singles, or,
I don't know. Are we gonna
I
get
don't
a
know.
remastered Slay Tracks?
Yeah,
That would be
but
so cool.
but the Secret History, they launched that first volume of the Secret History, which is, it's basically just extra tracks from, Slanted, Enchanted, Lux, and Redux. Um, but I feel like Crooked Rain, uh, the Desert Sessions, and Wowie Zowie Sentinel Edition,
Yeah.
like those are crying to be double or triple LP
Augmented, yeah.
sets. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because when you're putting something like that, I mean, I remember being on the Stephen Malkmus forum, and people, when they came out with the first Secret History Volume 1, who were like, I have all these tracks. But it's like, well, yeah, I mean, I have those tracks too. And I don't even think at the time like Spotify was what Spotify is. But I mean, there's having the tracks, on CD, and there's having the tracks on a 45 7-inch or a 12-inch. But like the joy of being able to put down a double LP set or a triple LP set and like flipping it over and having, again, what Matador did with the Spit on a Stranger EP, like that was a dream come true. I kind of wish that they did that for the major leagues.
Major leagues one too.
But I did get a 4 LP box set as well from them that kind of combines those two into one disc.
I want like you can go out and find the Nicene Creators right in the corners on vinyl.
Yeah.
Like the box set, like the the reissue. But the other three are not. They didn't even issue them on vinyl. So I hope there is, like you say, a reissue of Ellie's Desert Origins and Sorted Sentinels and Blacks and Redux. Like I sure hope that happens. And then I do hope they come out with a Bright in the Corners one again, because right now you can only find it on Discogs and it's like $300.
I know. And when I first bought that, I bought it for like, list price for like $90 for Matador. I couldn't buy it fast enough, right?
Right.
And then they sat on them for so long. Because again, people, I remember that there was a strong reaction to it. It was like, why am I buying this? I already bought this as a double CD set. And I'm like, guys, you're missing the point here. This is amazing, right?
Yeah.
And so I ended up buying like 2 copies for like $20 or something, liquidated from Matador, because they were just like, they couldn't get rid of them fast enough.
Of the vinyl box sets?
Of the vinyl box sets. So I was like I gave 2 out for like Christmas or birthday presents.
What the hell?
I know. And hindsight is 2020, right? I wish that I had built my empire.
Mm-hmm.
But, I can't really see them doing that for the first 3, because who am I to weigh in on what Matador will or won't do?
Right.
I would have to imagine they like money.
They're going to keep monetizing this catalog in any way they can. What it looks like is anyone's guess, right?
Yeah, right. But not to beat a dead horse here, but that Tear Twilight set, I love, because then following Malkmus into his solo career, there's just so many great, demos and songs that are him with what I presume is the Groove Box, or, kind of proto Groove Denied. And Rooftop Gambler, Corpus and the Hand Grenade, those are like 2 of my favorite songs.
Wow.
I just love it. I love it so much.
Damn. Well, I wonder if you're going to like the song that we're covering today. Should we get ready to give it a spin?
Let's do it.
All right. We'll see you on the other side with track number 37 on the countdown.
Hey, this is Bob Nastanovich from Pavement. Thanks for listening. And now on with a countdown.
37. So there we have it. Debris Slide. It is the first song on the countdown from Perfect Sound Forever. It's a 1990 EP. This song is side 2, track 2. It's Debris Slide. What are you thinking here, Pierce from Detroit?
Oh man, it's classic, right? I mean, I would say, when I think about the tracks from the first few EPs, the first, Perfect Sound Forever, Slate Tracks, Demolition Plot, J7, you kind of have a grab bag of like just kind of wild, noisy, experimental,
Yep.
quote unquote pop. And then, occasionally they're going to throw in like those capital S songs to kind of anchor out, and kind of
Totally.
give it a little bit more substance. So I think, you know, if you were to be looking for the song to play for someone off of, Westing by Musket and Sexton outside of Summer Babe, I mean, and even that's, I can't really say that because like Baptist Black Chick, um,
Box
I mean,
Elder.
Box Elder, I mean, and so I feel like Debris Slide kind of takes like the songiness. It's not the song Box Elder, but it's the songiness, the kind of verse chorus
Yep.
distilled, and then it marries it with like all of the wild, zany, scuzzy distortion, and it's got like that frantic energy, which I'm sure you and anybody listening to Pavement realizes. But it was definitely eye opening to me when I started first like playing records out. Like Pavement doesn't have a whole lot of amped up tunes, like they have, Unfair, and they have, Flux Equals Rad, there's a host of other songs that like I mean, Embassy Row, right? But like
Right.
for the most part, Pavement's wheelhouse is, you know, just a song that opens up and is just kind of giving you this walking tour of Malcolm's thesaurus and dictionary and guitar traps. So like, so this song is really, it's kind of a weird one because I mean, I feel like, you know, normally you're getting just these really weird, similes and metaphors and weird word placements. And this one is kind of like he's just playing with like homonyms, he's like,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's great. It's without wanting to make a completely wrong hot take, it's kind of like I don't know, like just like a you know punky, you
Yes.
know, kind of tossed off. It definitely, I mean, that's one of the attributes that's so fantastic about all these early songs is just how uh like easy it sounds to them. Like they're just inventing magic.
If you were to listen to just the music without the melody and lyrics, it would sound like a pretty hardcore song, you know?
I was gonna say like Black Flag, and I just like got into Black Flag in the last year or so, and I know that was an influence. I mean, uh, it's kind of unusual for Pavement, but at the same time, you can see why it became a perennial favorite for like set lists, and also, I mean, I feel like it this song maybe in particular informs so much of Slanted, I mean,
Yeah. Well, it's so melodic. Like it's got a great melody. It's got the bop bop bas, that
oh yeah,
make you nod your head and
yeah,
throw you back to a different time,
oh yeah.
like of music making. And yet they do it so it's almost flippant. Like it's really it's really pretty cool that they're,
Yeah.
almost thumbing their nose at this traditional pop, but they're performing it at the same time.
Yeah.
Really, really fucking cool.
Yeah. And then, I was going to mention it earlier. Just the ba 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 da buzz kind of are referenced again all those years later by Scott with For Sale, the Preston School
Right.
of Industry.
Right.
I mean, and I don't know, that just came to me just before we were getting on. I was like, I don't know in the back of my head if there are any other Pavement songs with ba 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 da ba going on in them.
Well, there's a lot that like have something that rings similar to that, right? Like you think Cut Your
Right.
Hair, you think Painted Soldiers.
Right. Okay.
Just off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Thinking about it quickly. But there it is almost a Pavement hallmark, this, this melodic sort of la 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 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously not like rock solid blueprint, because there is no blueprint for this stuff. They just, when you think you know the answer, they change the questions. So what are you thinking? This song comes in at number 37. Is it properly rated? Is it overrated? Is it underrated? Where should it have appeared in your mind?
It's hard because I think, I've participated in any number of threads. Your top 10, your top 20. What are your favorite Pavement songs? And I mean, I feel like because this band means so much to me, I kind of tend to dig a little bit deeper. I like, uh, like from the Perfect Sound Forever. I mean, Angel Carver Blues, Mellow Jazz Dog, like that would probably be my pick from here, or even Heckler Spray. But you know, just because I love all these songs doesn't, mean like Cut Your Hair isn't amazing, right?
Right,
So
exactly. Yeah.
I would say, you know, I think this song is pretty well rated. I mean, again, with a band this expansive and with such awesome tunes, I mean, uh, they're going to take you some places. So, like, I don't really feel like any top 20 or 50 is going to look. I mean, I've got, like I said to you earlier, like the Porpoise and the Hand Grenade, Rooftop
Right.
Gambler. I mean, those that go in my top 10, and I don't think
You're a
that
deep
would
cut
really.
guy.
I mean, I just
You're a
love it.
big haul guy.
But I mean, I love Debris Slide, so I would say it's perfectly rated.
Oh, well, I love it. That's great. Well, Pierce, it's been wonderful talking to you this afternoon or
Yeah,
this
thanks
morning,
for
I
putting
guess.
up with my
Oh,
my
shit.
wildness.
Shit, man. It's always
I
great talking to people.
yeah,
After doing this for 3 years just with myself, I'm like kicking myself. Why didn't I have people on earlier? It makes it so much easier.
no, this is so cool, and super. You're super easy to talk to. I and so I really relish the opportunity. I'll jump at the chance of talking about this music as often as I can. Uh, I don't know if you want me to set up my pitch here. Throw in
Yeah.
throw in a little. So I've got a website that I started um, just last year,
Okay.
and it's kind of based off of a cartoon that I drew like maybe 15 years ago. Um, but it's like a mixtape slash comics website. It's kind of like loosely based around paranormal peanuts, kind of gumshoe ghost, and
Oh, really?
he researches capers and it's a lot of nonsense, non sequiturs, and then a lot of mixes that feature Pavement and The Fall and Sun Ra and um, all manner of things. So that the name of the
Cool.
website is ghostropolis.com.
Ghostropolis.com.
Yep, GHOSTROPOLIS.com. And it's Ghostropolis Radio. You can also do ghostropolisradio.com.
So if you put Ghostropolis in the Google machine, you'll likely get where you need to go.
I think so.
From the fertile mind of Pierce from Detroit, ghostopolis.com.
Ghostropolis.
Ghostropolis. Oh, shit. I just fucked it up already.
Oh, you're good. No, hey, I appreciate it, man.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you. Thanks so much for doing this.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right. Wash your goddamn hands.
Thanks for listening to Meeting Malcolmus, a Pavement podcast, where we count down the top 50 Pavement tracks, as selected by you. If you've got questions or concerns, please shoot me an email, jd@meetingmalcolmus.com. To podcasts and such.